This is the Lakeville North PantherCast with head football coach Mike Zweber.
Who's that? Who's that? Who are we? Let's go protect this house. Panthers on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the final edition of PantherCast for the 2008 season. Today's episode will recap our section championship game versus Lakeville South and also name our final Panthers of the Week. Everybody knew going in that it was going to be a tight battle with Lakeville South in the section championship game. Both teams were very evenly matched, and we knew that going into it, it would come down to probably some penalties and turnovers by one of the teams that would result in the outcome. And unfortunately for us, we ended up getting a couple penalties that were costly and also had a few turnovers, and that ended up to be the difference in the game for us and sent South to the state playoffs. And unfortunately, we wrapped up what we consider to be a very successful season, although we'd still like to be playing at this time. Let's take a look at some of the key plays from the game on Friday night. We've always been able to move the ball in the air, but lately in the last few games it's been a difficult chore for us to be able to get some ground game going, except for when we decided to spread defenses out, go to 5 wide receivers, and then run Mike Hartwell up the middle. And so we were able to do that, and you can see on these next couple plays that Mike was able to gain over 20 yards on the first play and 33 yards on the next play, right up the middle of South's defense, and set us up for scores on both of these drives. In the first half, both offenses definitely controlled the ball. North had the ball only twice, South had the ball 3 times in the first half, and we went into halftime down 10-7, but still feeling pretty good about where we were at. Coming out of halftime, we were going to get the ball first, and we knew that in the third quarter, it's important if you get the ball first that you want to put some points on the board. You can see on this first drive, we had a big pass completion from Mike Hartwell to Will Washington that set us up for our first score. We would have liked to have scored a touchdown this drive, but we settled for a field goal, and we felt pretty good at this point in time, early in the third quarter, being tied 10-10 with South. After a costly turnover by the Panther offense, our defense had to go back to work. Eddie Anderson had been running great for the Cougars up to this point in time, but you can see on this play, although he gains a decent amount of yards, our defense was able to get their hands on the ball, strip it away. Cole Banham came away with the turnover, and it got our offense back on the field. Big-time play for our defense. That wasn't the only big play by the defense in the second half. You can see on this drive, while South is marching towards the end zone, Ben Freitag, our senior outside linebacker, came up with a big play on a blitz from the outside and tackles South quarterback for a big loss that takes them out of scoring position. Now, late in the fourth quarter, we're down 24-10. It doesn't look too good for the Panthers, but we know that our offense can strike quickly. We're going to get the ball back here with 5.5 minutes to go, and in a 4-play drive, we march 70 yards downfield, capping it off with this big touchdown pass from Mike Hartwell to our senior leader wide receiver Tyler Swanson that gets us back within striking distance with only 4 minutes to go in the game. And I think a lot of people thought we may kick the ball deep, try to get a stop and get the ball back for our offense. But we like right now what our junior kicker Hayden Singer is doing with some of the onside kicks that he's been playing around with in practice. So we decided to do a surprise onside kick at that point in time. It was executed perfectly. We were able to get the ball back for our offense with 4 minutes to go in the game, and we had our chances from there. So after the onside kick, our offense was able to move the ball down the field a little ways, but we came up a little short on that drive, giving the ball back to South deep in their territory. Our defense came up with a big stop, forcing them into a punting situation, giving us the ball back with just a little over a minute to go in the game from South's 30-yard line. We gave a few shots, a few attempts in the air, but South's defense was able to hold, and we ended up going out on downs to wrap up our season. A very successful season, but a season that we finished as Section 1-5A runner-ups. And now it's time for our Panthers of the Week. On the offensive side of the ball, we're going to go with a senior wide receiver, number 85, Bryant McCudden, who played in spot situations throughout the entire season and came up big for us on many times. Bryant finished the game with 4 catches, including a touchdown, our first touchdown of the game, on a play that we put in specifically for him over the course of this last week. You can see him on this play in at the tight end slot on the left-hand side. He delays for a little while, works his way out to left side, makes a great catch, and just fights his way into the end zone. On the defensive side of the ball, we're going to go with a senior leader on the defensive line, defensive end, number 52, Andy Etzer. He had a big year for us all year long and came up big at a couple times during the game against South. Here you can see him on this play on the first drive of the game when South was moving deep into the territory and maybe looking like they would go up 7-0 early and made them settle for a field goal. And our special teams Panther of the Week is our kicker, our junior kicker, Hayden Singer, that has taken over all of the kicking duties as we entered the playoffs. He punts for us, had a great punt in the game. He had a field goal for us in the beginning of the third quarter that tied the game up, and then he came up with that big onside kick in the fourth quarter that gave us a chance to go back and tie that game potentially. As I said earlier, it was a great season this year. I'm very proud of our senior class for the leadership that they have shown this entire team throughout the season. Our team finished with 7 wins and 4 losses, but there's a couple individuals that I'd like to highlight that passed some career milestones in the last game versus South. The first one is our 3-year starter for us at wide receiver, Tyler Swanson. Tyler finished his career as a 3-year starter on the varsity with 129 catches, but bypassed that 2,000-yard mark by finishing his career with 2,005 yards receiving for the Panthers. And our quarterback, Mike Hartwell, who also is a 3-year starter for the Panthers, bypassed his own milestone by passing for over 4,000 yards during his career, finishing up with 4,006 yards passing and 45 touchdown passes. Congratulations to both of you guys. Now as we enter the offseason, it's time for the juniors and the sophomores to step up and take the reins of this football team. We're going to lose a lot of great seniors off of this team, but that happens every single year. So now juniors and sophomores need to step up in the offseason, in the weight room, get bigger, stronger, and faster, and be able to go out next year looking for that conference and section championship as well. Thank you for watching this year's PantherCast. I really enjoyed doing this show, and I hope you enjoyed watching too.